Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we begin this video, don't forget to give it a like. It truly encourages us to keep sharing beneficial content, inshallah. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our future videos on faith, spirituality, and Islamic reminders. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah bless you and enjoy the video. When you ask Allah for something as sacred and significant as a life partner, the one meant for you, what often follows isn't immediate fulfillment. Instead, many find themselves placed in a season of waiting, hardship, or even heartbreak. It may feel confusing or discouraging at first, but what's happening is deeply spiritual. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, is preparing you for the very thing you asked for. The journey before the arrival is not a delay. It's a divine process of transformation. Allah never withholds something from you out of neglect. If He makes you wait, it's because the destination you are meant to reach requires a stronger, purer version of yourself to receive it. In this time, you might feel like your prayers are unheard. You may wonder why things seem to be falling apart, or why every connection turns cold, or why you feel like you're walking this path alone. But Allah is never absent. What you're experiencing is a form of divine training. He is shaping your heart so that when the one meant for you finally arrives, you can love them not from a place of emptiness or desperation, but from a place of peace, balance, and tawakkul, complete trust in Him. The heart must be purified before it can hold something so sacred. Often, we carry emotional baggage from past relationships or broken expectations. Sometimes, we cling to ideas of love that are rooted in fantasy rather than faith. And sometimes, we think we are ready, when in reality, we are still learning to love ourselves, to forgive ourselves, and to become the kind of person who can nurture a relationship in the way Islam encourages, with kindness, mercy, patience, and purpose. Allah knows the version of you that will be ready to receive the person He has written for you, and so He allows certain things to fall away, not to punish you, but to protect you. There are moments when Allah isolates you so you can hear Him more clearly. You may feel like everyone else is moving on, getting married, building families while you're still in a season of silence. But in that silence, your soul is being spoken to. You're being called to draw nearer to your Creator, to find your worth not in someone else's affection, but in Allah's love for you. This is the time where your identity is grounded in faith, not in the idea of a future relationship. When your heart becomes whole with Allah, you no longer approach relationships from a place of neediness, but from a place of shared purpose. Sometimes the tests are subtle, like being patient with uncertainty or resisting the urge to settle for someone who doesn't honor your values. Other times, the tests are more painful, falling for the wrong person, getting heartbroken, or watching a potential partner drift away. But even these are mercy in disguise. Allah removes what's not written for you so that you don't attach your heart to the wrong story. And while you may not understand it in the moment, there will come a time when you'll look back and thank Him for every door that didn't open, for every person who left, and for every moment you thought you were being overlooked. Because it was actually Him redirecting you to something better. The more you trust that process, the more peace you'll find in the waiting. You'll stop comparing your journey to others. You'll start focusing on becoming the right person, not just finding the right person. You'll begin to value your solitude as sacred preparation. You'll take your time to build your relationship with Allah, knowing that this is the foundation of any successful union. Because no one can complete you. Only Allah can do that. A spouse is a companion on the path, not the destination itself. But when the waiting feels long, and when the tests feel heavy, remind yourself This is not a punishment. This is a preparation. You are being groomed for something intentional. Allah doesn't write stories in haste. He writes with purpose, with detail, with perfection. Every delay has a lesson. Every test has a wisdom. And every moment of heartbreak is actually making space for something more aligned with your soul. Your future spouse isn't just someone to love. You are being prepared to walk together in worship, to support one another in faith, to be garments for each other in the deepest spiritual sense. That kind of relationship requires divine timing. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with Allah's plan. Don't rush what He is still writing. Continue making sincere dua. But release the need to control the outcome. Trust that Allah hears every whisper of your heart and that He will respond. Not always how you expect, but always in the way that's best for your dunya and your akhirah. When you're finally brought to the one chosen for you, you'll understand why you had to go through everything before meeting them. It wasn't to break you. It was to build you for them and for the future you will build together. You're praying for the right person. You're asking Allah for someone who will love you, respect you, and walk with you in faith. But what if the delay isn't because Allah is saying no? What if He's saying not yet? And what if that delay has nothing to do with the other person, but everything to do with you? Sometimes you're not being denied, you're being developed. That's a truth that many hearts resist, but it's one of the most powerful lessons in the waiting period. Allah doesn't withhold what is good from His servants without reason. When He pauses your prayer from being answered, it's because something deep within you still needs to heal, to grow, or to be purified. You are not forgotten. You are being shaped. Many people focus so much on finding the right person that they forget to ask themselves, am I the right person? The truth is, a relationship is only as strong as the hearts that form it. If your heart is still carrying wounds from the past, unhealed bitterness, trust issues, or a weak connection with Allah, then giving you someone too soon would only lead to more heartbreak. Allah sees the things you cannot. He sees the pride you need to release. He sees the anxiety that still controls you. He sees the fears you mask with confidence. And most of all, He sees the love you still need to develop for yourself. Not selfish love, but the kind of self-awareness that makes you emotionally and spiritually ready to love someone else with balance and boundaries. In this period of waiting, Allah wants you to face yourself honestly. Are you holding on to someone who has already let you go? Are you still attached to fantasies that don't align with your deen? Are you obsessed with marriage but neglecting your prayers, your healing, and your personal growth? Allah is not just trying to give you a partner. He's trying to give you peace. He doesn't want you to build your happiness on someone else. He wants you to build your happiness on Him, so that no matter what happens in your relationship, your heart remains steady. One of the most powerful things about this development phase is how Allah teaches you to let go of attachment. There's a difference between love and attachment. Love is rooted in mercy and intention. Attachment is rooted in fear and insecurity. If you're constantly looking for someone to fill a void in your soul, then you will cling to whoever gives you attention, even if they're not good for you. Allah, in His mercy, protects you from this. That's why certain people leave. That's why some relationships never go beyond the talking stage. That's why someone you thought was your future disappears without explanation. It hurts, yes, but it's also divine intervention. Your development also includes spiritual discipline. Maybe you're asking for a righteous spouse, but are you working on your own righteousness? Are you guarding your eyes, your words, your behavior? Are you striving to embody patience, sincerity, and trust in Allah? A strong relationship doesn't start with romance. It starts with values. If your values aren't aligned with Islam, then even if the person comes, you might not be ready to receive them. Allah wants to give you something beautiful, but He won't do it at the cost of your soul. That's why this time is sacred. It's a chance to align your inner world with the kind of love you're praying for. This isn't about being perfect. None of us are. But it's about intention. It's about actively working on yourself with the knowledge that love isn't just a feeling, it's a responsibility. It requires patience, understanding, humility, and spiritual strength. And these qualities don't appear overnight. They are forged in solitude, in discipline, in failure, and in prayer. That's why your current loneliness is not a curse, it's a classroom. Allah is teaching you how to be alone without being empty. He's showing you how to enjoy your own company, how to set healthy boundaries, how to live with purpose outside of a relationship. And once you've mastered that, you become the kind of person who doesn't just attract someone, you bless them. One of the most beautiful parts of this development is that you start to realize your worth is not tied to someone else choosing you. You are already valuable. You are already complete in the eyes of Allah. A spouse is not sent to complete you, but to walk beside you on the path you've already started. When you understand this, you stop begging Allah for shortcuts. You start praying for alignment instead. You stop asking, when will they come? And start asking, how can I be ready when they do? So take this season seriously. Reflect on what needs to be released. Maybe it's time to forgive your past. Maybe it's time to let go of that one person you keep waiting for who was never meant to stay. Maybe it's time to close the door on temporary connections that distract you from your true purpose. This is the time to go deeper with Allah, to redefine your relationship with yourself, and to create a life that is already whole. So when the chosen person arrives, they don't become your source of happiness, but a companion who walks with you toward Jannah. You are not being punished by the delay. You are being protected. You are being nurtured. You are being transformed into the person who can carry love with wisdom, who can lead with faith, and who can build a marriage that lasts, not just in this life, but in the next. So trust this chapter, because Allah is not only writing your love story, He's writing your growth, your healing, and your return to Him. One of the most overlooked truths in the journey of waiting for your destined partner is this. The person meant for you is also being tested, refined, and prepared. Just like you, you are not the only one going through struggles, prayers, or moments of doubt. While you're growing in patience, learning to trust Allah, and healing from past wounds, they too are walking a similar path. This realization changes everything. It brings comfort, balance, and perspective. It reminds you that your story is not unfolding in isolation. It is part of a divine synchronization written by Allah Himself, where two hearts are being shaped apart so they can one day come together in harmony. Often, we get caught up in our own emotions and forget that the person we're waiting for is human too. They may have gone through heartbreaks. They may have faced their own loneliness, confusion, or even spiritual setbacks. They might be struggling to let go of someone from their past or battling to become a better version of themselves. Just like you, they are being tested to build resilience, humility, and a deeper connection with Allah. And sometimes, Allah withholds the union not because either of you is unworthy, but because the timing is not yet perfect. There's still growth to happen, experiences to live, and prayers to be made. This understanding can be a great source of peace during seasons of loneliness. You are not forgotten. You are not the only one feeling this longing. Somewhere out there, someone is also asking Allah for clarity, praying for a righteous spouse, and perhaps wondering if someone like you exists. And in Allah's perfect timing, your stories will merge. Not randomly, but purposefully. This isn't about coincidence. It's about qadr, divine decree. It's about two souls being molded to complement each other in character, faith, and emotional readiness. When you begin to internalize that, your entire perspective shifts. You stop feeling impatient or frustrated. Instead, you begin to pray for them. Not just for them to arrive, but for their peace, healing, and growth. You ask Allah to make you both strong in faith, aligned in purpose, and prepared for what's to come. This brings a deeper form of love, one that begins in dua before it even manifests in reality. The love story Allah is writing for you isn't just about romance. It's about a spiritual partnership. And just like any sacred partnership, it requires both sides to be ready. So instead of wondering when they'll come, focus on becoming ready for them. Trust that Allah is working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. The connection is being written. You just have to keep walking your path with patience and faith, knowing they're walking theirs too. There comes a time in every season of waiting when the heart begins to feel lighter, more settled, and strangely at peace, even if the external situation hasn't changed. That shift is not accidental. It is often one of the clearest signs that your test is nearing its end. Allah, in His subtle mercy, doesn't leave you waiting without signs. He sends quiet confirmations to your heart, moments of emotional clarity, and experiences that whisper, "You're almost there." One of the most powerful signs that your waiting period is close to being fulfilled is when your trust in Allah deepens without needing constant reassurance. You're no longer begging for signs or checking your phone hoping for messages. Instead, there is a surrender, a calm knowing in your soul that whatever Allah brings, it will be good. That inner shift from anxiety to serenity is not a coincidence. It is the fruit of your spiritual growth. It's a sign that you've passed a stage of the test. Your heart is no longer attached to the when or how, but is rooted in who is in control. You may also notice unexpected emotional healing taking place. Wounds that once controlled you feel lighter. People you once couldn't forget fade into the background of your heart. What used to trigger pain now brings wisdom. That's not just time passing. It's a sign of divine work happening within you. Allah never wastes your tears. He transforms them into strength, and when He sees that you've started learning the lessons your trial was meant to teach, He begins to ease your path forward. Another sign can be seen in your environment. You might begin to experience positive changes in other areas of life, new opportunities, a fresh sense of purpose, or people entering your life who align with your values. These are not random. They are often small pieces of the bigger picture Allah is orchestrating. Your life starts aligning with the kind of life you were meant to live. So when your chosen person finally arrives, you'll both step into a union that is grounded, purposeful, and spiritually guided. And sometimes, the signs come through your intuition, what the heart feels but can't fully explain. You start dreaming more vividly, sensing a shift, or encountering repeated reminders of patience, love, and divine timing. Don't dismiss these as mere coincidence. When your soul is deeply connected to Allah, you become more aware of His signs, both seen and unseen. So if you feel more peaceful, more hopeful, and more connected to Allah than ever before, that's not the end. It's the beginning of something new. Stay the course. The one Allah wrote for you is not far. May Allah bless you and guide you to a life filled with mercy, love, and tranquility.